Reality, the state of things as they are. The state of things as they are. There's a famous story of twins. I believe it's a parable of two twins that are raised by an alcoholic father, and one of them grows up to be an alcoholic and says that he's an alcoholic because all he saw was his father drinking alcohol, and that was any example that he saw in his life, therefore he turned out that way. The other twin turns out not being an alcoholic and goes on a different path in life and says, well, I saw what my father was like and I didn't want to be like him, therefore I never touched alcohol. So the same experience, yet two different outcomes. I don't know about you, but this has really interested me for a long time. I've often wondered why we experience the same thing in life. We experience the same environment for the most part, the world that we're in as human beings, as a species, right? Yet the outcomes, the realities that we live in as people is different. Oftentimes we're going through different seasons. There's like on the news, inflation is going up, people can't afford food, recession, so many things is happening, right? But there's people that make money or that get richer during recessions. So if it's the same experience, why is the outcome different for everyone? Well, I was trying to answer this question, and I was reading a book, Don't Believe Everything You Think by Joseph Nguyen. And Joseph presents a really amazing way of looking at this conundrum in this book. He presents an equation, right? Simple equation that we can use to, I guess, understand why this is the case. Experience plus the thinking is a reality. I find this really, really, really interesting. And Joseph Nguyen goes on to say in his book, Don't Believe Everything You Think, that the thinking can either be positive thinking or negative thinking. So if you get an experience, i.e. a paramedic, there's two paramedics for argument's sake, right? Both experiencing the same type of thing, whether it be accidents, whether it be attending to people, and they're both working long hours and short-staffed. One of them could think about that and say, oh my God, I'm just so privileged to be helping people, and this is a blessing to be here, right? The reality of what the experience would be different to someone else, the other paramedic, that's just, everything is locked for them to handle in that situation. So it's interesting that the experience and the thinking leads to different varieties. So what can we do with this information? How can we go from this experience to the reality? Or if you stick here long enough, you might find that answer. I found something really interesting as well in Genesis, which is the first book of the Bible in the New Testament. Nothing exists. The Spirit of God is hovering over the waters. And the Bible says that God said, let there be light. And there was light. So in Genesis, we have a story of creation, right? From a thought to reality. God uses his thoughts to create light. He says, let there be light. And then we do have light. And then we move on into Proverbs as well, written by King Solomon. In Proverbs, I can't remember the right verse. King Solomon says something really profound. It's 23.7. He says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This happens probably like 1,000 or more years later after the world is created. King Solomon writes Proverbs and says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. A different idea presented, right? These are just patterns, coincidentally, but it's crazy. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So your thoughts and reality. Down the line, again, down the track, we do have Romans, where Paul, the Apostle Paul, the amazing Apostle Paul, who wrote a third of the New Testament, presents a similar idea as well in Romans. And this time around, 4 verse 8, he says, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. So why would Paul encourage people, the Romans, to think about pure things? Think pure, think excellent, think highly, think of everything that is amazing. Why would Paul say that? Why is it a central theme of, a man, as a man thinketh, so is he? Your thoughts in Genesis, God created with his reality. Why is Joseph Nguyen saying that your thoughts plus your experience leads to your reality. That's very, very, very interesting. Well, the reason why he's saying that is because, once I clear this, the reason why he's saying that is because your thoughts, how you think as a person, dictates your values, what you believe in. Those values lead to your actions, and those actions correlate with your reality. And that would be the central message from your boy Nez today, is the idea that your thoughts have the power to influence your values, your internal value system, what you believe as a person. I.e., if we're going through a recession, I do believe that I could find opportunities in a situation to still provide for my family. Thoughts create values, values lead to action, and the action is what leads you to reality. So, practical example, you want to get fit in the gym. You haven't been to the gym for a long time. I was in the shoes, by the way, probably a few months ago. I've been to the gym in a long time. You really want to get fit, right? How do you go from sleeping in your bed, being lazy, as Charlie, let's call this Charlie. Charlie's sleeping on his bed. Charlie hasn't gone to the gym in a while, and Charlie wants to get really fit and have that's Charlie flexing his biceps. Charlie wants to be really fit and really flex his biceps and be, I don't know, a rugby player, right? Well, if Charlie just goes to the gym today and he hasn't really changed how he thinks, Charlie's going to go back to the bed tomorrow. So Charlie needs to start by first changing his thoughts, what Charlie believes about himself. So Charlie needs to start saying, well, I'm a healthy person. I am someone that wants to, Paul said, think about things that are noble, highly pure. Well, I'm a strong person. Charlie needs to start taking on the identity of someone that works out every single time. As Charlie does that, his values will begin to change, which means that the choices that Charlie makes about his life will change, which will lead him to making that action. And that action will lead Charlie to the reality that he wants to have. That was the central message from your boy Nez today. Remember, your experience what you're thinking creates your reality. Please do think differently. Comment down below what it means to you, what your reality has been like, and I will see you in the next one. Boom.